Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Charge Blade video after Title Update 1 here for Monster Hunter Wilds. I already covered a raw DPS meta set. If you'd like to see that specifically, there will be a link down in the description. But in today's video, we're going to go over 5 extremely strong sets that should cover all the bases you need for any of your Charge Blade setups in Monster Hunter Wilds, again after Title Update 1. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. So up first, let's go ahead and talk about our weapons. The Ardian weapons are still the strongest. The ideal overall Ardian is going to be 3 attack relics, 4 attack reinforcements, and 1 sharpness reinforcement. However, if you end up with some affinity or some extra sharpness, it won't really matter. Again, the raw boost is only +5, so getting some extra crit or some extra sharpness will not overall make a huge difference. The Guardian Rathalos Charge Blade is also extremely strong. It is the strongest monster craftable Charge Blade currently in the game. However, the brand new Zoshia Charge Blade, with its new skill White Flame Torrent, is extremely close, and it should beat out Guardian Rathalos in Dragon Week matchups. So really, you have a bunch of options. You can pick whichever of those you like the most and go ahead and run with it. Now for element-specific Charge Blades, it is still going to be our Ardian weapons. The production bonus doesn't matter too much overall since most of our damage is going to come from files, so having 4 elemental reinforcements and then ideally a sharpness reinforcement will be optimal for elemental Charge Blade using our Ardian weapon. Now with the weapons out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our sets. I'm going to be showcasing all of these with Ardian weapons as they have the most slot efficiency and are technically the best. However, if you decide to go for a craftable option, do note your decorations will change. So starting off with our raw DPS Savage Axe set, I've already made a full video on this one, so I'll cover it now very briefly. In the weapon, crit 3 and attack 5 is technically the most optimal. However, if you're running into issues with sharpness, this set does have very high crit, so you can go for Master's Touch, or you could go for Razor Sharp to get an Iron Wall or Handicraft combination on the side there. Again, the choice is up to you. This is technically optimal, mathematically optimal. The head is the Gorehelm Beta slotted with a Chain Jewel. The level 1 decoration can be whatever you want. If you're playing solo, you might want to go for Flash or Adapt, and if you're playing in a group, you might want Shockproof. However, we do get Flinch Free 1 on this set. The chest is the Numinous Shroud Beta from Zoshia with a Challenger Jewel. Then the arms, waist, and legs are all Gore Beta. You're going to need 3 Mighty Jewels, 2 Challenger Jewels, and 2 Sane Jewels, and we'll finish it off with the Exploiter Charm 2. Now, as far as skills go, I'm not going to go too in-depth. I've already covered pretty much everything you would ever need to know about these skills in previous videos, so most of this should look pretty familiar to you. Attack Boost 5, Agitator 5, Crit Boost 3, Constitution 3 is free on the armor, Max Might and Antivirus also at level 3. Then Evade Window, Coalescence, and Flinch Free come on the armor, and Burst level 1 is an extremely efficient way to get a little bit of extra raw damage while we are continually attacking the monster. Some quick side notes about this set. If you are going for Master's Touch, you may consider dropping the Challenger Jewels for Weakness Exploit Jewels instead to help you reach closer to that 100% crit mark. Going from Wex 2 to Wex 5 and from Agitator 5 to Agitator 2 won't overall make a huge difference. Agitator technically has a higher upside theoretically overall, but again, it will vary from hunt to hunt. So if you want a little more consistency and you're able to hit weak spots during your hunts, going for Weakness Exploit 5 may be a better option for you. Now, while this set is technically optimal, we do have a slight variation of this set that adds a little more comfort. Again, the weapon will stay the same. I've swapped around the decorations to show you a few other options. I know a lot of people like load shells, so I went ahead and threw in a Magazine Iron Wall Jewel here. For the armor, we have the Numinous Crown Beta with a Tenderizer Jewel. The Earplug Jewel is my choice. However, you can use the 2-in-1 slot here, again, for whatever you prefer. The chest is still the Numinous Shroud Beta with a Tenderizer Jewel. The arms are Gore Beta with 2 Mighty Jewels. The waist is the Numinous Overlay Beta with another Mighty Jewel. The legs are the Gore Greaves Beta with a Chain and 2 Sane Jewels. And of course, the Exploiter Charm 2 will round it out. This set overall gets us pretty close on skills to the other one. However, the Gore 4-piece set bonus will net us more overall damage, but we have Agitator 5, Weakness Exploit 4, Critical Boost at level 3, Maximum Might and Antivirus also at level 3. Load Shells and Master's Touch are here as options for you, so you can see different ways to decorate your Charge Blade as well as guard. Recovery speed level 1 will work with the 2-piece Zoshia set bonus, giving us super recovery 1. This means our red health will recover faster, and we'll be able to continually regen health past that red bar just by simply existing, and then everything else you see is either my choice or comes free on the armor. And of course, burst level 1, again for super easy access to 8 extra raw. Again, this set looks extremely similar in skills to the other set. We actually have a little bit more weakness exploit on this one. However, this set does technically lose out to the 4-piece gore bonus because 4 pieces of gore will always give us 10 extra raw, sometimes 15 extra raw, so this one will be just a tiny bit behind that. However, it does have 10% more crit, so you can make even more use of a mastery jewel, which is why I opted to show it in this set. However, again, the weapon decorations are going to be completely up to you. Technically optimal is critical boost 3 and attack 5, but you have a bunch of options for charge blades, so feel free to experiment with what you like best. The next set is our elemental set. This one is built around super amped element discharge and not Savage Axe because I find that playstyle way more fun. If I'm going to go for element, I want to see those huge file damage numbers. Now this set has effectively not changed at all since prior to Title Update 1. Just like we talked about in the weapons, we're going to be using Ardian here as they can reach 500 base element. Again, the production bonus does not matter. You're going to want 4 times element reinforcements and 1 sharpness. Then in the weapon, I went for a stream, focus, and magazine jewels. What you have on the back end does not matter. You can go for iron wall, you can go for shield, you can go for handicraft. Really just kind of depends on your needs. I know that I'm going to be perfect guarding a lot, so I want that iron wall to reduce knockback so that way I can get my SAEDs off much quicker. The head is the Guardian Ebony Helm Beta with a Phoenix Jewel. The chest is also from Ebony Adogaron Beta with 2 more Phoenix Jewels. The arms are the Zhuwu Vambraces Beta with 2 Mighty Jewels. The level 1 decoration is entirely up to you. And the waist and legs are Gore Beta. You're going to need a Mighty Jewel, Chain Jewel, and 2 Sane Jewels. And the charm is the Burst Charm 2. Now, to technically give us a little bit more damage in the level 3 slot in the waist, you could go for Agitator. However, it doesn't really matter, so if you want some other skills, if you want to go for 3 levels of earplugs instead, you could easily do that here. As per usual, it's completely up to what you like to use and on a per fight basis. With this set, we get Burst at level 5. This gives us 18 raw attack after attacking the monster 5 times, and because we have the 2-piece Ebony Adogaron set bonus, this becomes 21 raw. But the real reason we want it is it gives us plus 180 element after Burst activates, which helps us reach that elemental cap. We will then have your element of choice attack at level 3, focus level 3 to charge up those files faster so that way we can continue throwing our SAEDs at the monster. We then have Coalescence at level 3. When this activates, we get plus 30% element, and you can activate this by simply clearing the frenzy that we get from the 2-piece gore bonus. Maximum Might level 3 is also actually entirely optional. If you're going to be using some Savage Axe here and there, I would highly recommend slotting it in. However, if you plan to just play SAED playstyle, you can definitely drop this for some more comfort skills, or again, whatever you'd prefer. Antivirus level 3 helps us clear the frenzy faster, gives us some extra crit. We then have Earplugs 2, which can be boosted to Earplugs 3 with that empty level 3 slot should you need, but most monsters outside of, I believe, Gore, Jindahad, and Zoshia only need Earplugs 2. There might be a few more that I'm missing, but overall that's kind of the gist of it. Now, I know we can drop load shells in our raw builds because we're not reliant on file damage. However, being able to overcharge our files from red charge with load shells 2 for element means we'll be dealing more file damage, so it's a super important skill to have here. Something to note is that not a ton of monsters currently in the game have super high elemental hit zone values, so this set is not going to beat out our Savage Axe sets on most hunts. There are, of course, certain fringe cases like Gravios with water or the Wrath family with dragon, but overall, if you do decide to go for this, just know your clear times won't be quite as fast as with raw Savage Axe. However, it's a super fun way to play, and I want to give you guys the best set possible if you would like to use this playstyle. The next set is an off-meta set built around regenerating health and a lot more comfort. Of course, the weapon you choose is completely up to you. I'm using the Ardian, again, just to showcase a bunch of the different decoration combinations. For the armor, we need the Numinous Crown Beta with a Tenderizer, Mighty, and Shockproof Jewel. Again, if you're not playing multiplayer, you can drop Shockproof for Flash or Adapt or Divine Blessing. The chest is Arc Vulcan Beta with a Tenderizer and Earplugs Jewel. The arms are the Guardian Fulgur Arms Beta with an earplugs and Mighty Jewel. The waist is also Arc Vulcan. Again, you can slot in whatever you want into these level 1 slots. And the legs are the Numinous Greaves Beta, slotted in with a Chain Jewel. You could also drop in a 3rd level of earplugs should you so choose here, or any other skill that you like to use. Now, I personally chose not to use a charm with this one just to give you guys more options. You could go for the Challenger charm in order to slot in Agitator 3. You could drop in the Flayer charm to get wounds a little bit faster, although this set doesn't build a ton around wounds. You could drop in really whatever you want, Tool Specialist, etc. There are a ton of great options. Again, with this being a comfort off meta set, I want you guys to customize it to use the skills that you like. The main build of this set is regenerating health. Again, with the 2-piece Xochitl armor, we get Super Recovery 1, so your red health recovers faster, and you'll be able to restore health beyond red HP. We then have Arc Veld's Hunger, which gives us Hasten Recovery 1 with 2 pieces of Arc Vulcan armor. As we continually attack the monster, we'll regenerate a small amount of HP. But what I like about this one is it rewards you being aggressive as you get health back as you attack the monster, and you have 2 ways to regenerate health, meaning you should be using less potions overall during your hunts. Weakness Exploit at level 5, Critical Boost at level 3, you know and love. Recovery Speed level 3 means our red health will recover even faster, which is great. We then, of course, have Max Might 3, Load Shells, Earplugs 2 or 3, depending on what you like. Master's Touch, again, is my choice. It's not optimal for damage, but keeping that white sharpness is very nice, so I went for that. Agitator 1, Shock Absorber, Element Absorption, Counter-Strike, and Burst are all great options. You could even use that free level 2 slot in the legs to get Counter-Strike up to level 2. So that way, if you still find yourself getting hit quite often, you'll get a little bit of extra damage out of Counter-Strike. The final set is a dragon-specific Convert Element setup. This one is going to have very, very limited usage against pretty much just the Wrath family and Xochitl. However, it is a great, super fun build. You'll be seeing some Wrathian gameplay in the background where you can see me using this set and the SAED and Savage Axe combination style against it. The weapon is, of course, Ardian. You're going to go for Dragon, 4 element reinforcements, and a sharpness. As for the armor, we have the Arc Vulcan Helm Beta with a chain and Phoenix Jewel, shockproof if you're playing multiplayer, something else if you're not. The Numinous Shroud Beta slotted in with another chain jewel. The Zhiwu Vambraces Beta with an earplugs, Phoenix, and again, your choice in level 1 decoration. Then we rounded out with the Gore Coil Beta with a chain and Phoenix Jewel, the Gore Greaves Beta with another chain and 2 Sane Jewels, and of course the Convert Charm 2. Now, in playing around with this, there are options in order to get Burst level 5, how you could rebuild this set. However, I felt like having those 2 extra level 1 slots for a little bit of added comfort if you want to go for Adapt and Shockproof like I did, or Flash, getting those Flash Pod dunks and some free damage windows. I felt like this was just a little bit better at just the cost of a little bit of extra element uptime. We have Burst at level 4 for a bunch of extra attack and element, Dragon Attack level 3, Focus level 3, Convert Element level 3 is super great. What you're going to do for Charge Blade is you need to perfect guard any elemental attack, so like a Wrathian Fireball, that will activate this skill, and it will give you a bunch of extra dragon damage as well as the occasional burst of dragon damage. Again, that's why this set is built heavily around dragon and is super situational. Coalescence level 3, like I said before, is plus 30% element after we clear the Frenzy, which we will be gaining the Frenzy from the 2-piece Gore Magala set bonus and clearing it even faster with Antivirus at level 3. I again highly recommend at least a level of guard since you will be throwing down super amped element discharges. You want to have the least amount of knockback possible when guarding those attacks, so that way you can get that animation out faster. Load Shells level 2, same exact thing as before. We want to charge up our files and overcharge them to deal maximum elemental damage. Agitator level 2 doesn't do a ton here, but we do have Earplugs 2, meaning again that most roars outside of Gore Magala, Jindahad, and Xochitl will be completely negated by this skill, so if they go to roar, you can just use that as a free window to deal some damage. Now, as far as mantles go, this is something I just want to touch on quickly. Corrupted was nerfed with Title Update 1, however, the double hit attacks do allow you to charge up to red files much quicker, so I'm still a really big fan of that. However, if you don't like the health drain of that, the Evasion Mantle gives you a ton of raw, 20% for 105 seconds. It lasts for 10 seconds after you perfectly dodge an attack or roar, so that's going to be a great option for those raw Savage Axe sets that I showed you. For the comfort set, Rock Steady and Mending Mantle are of course great options. You're already going for comfort, you might as well continue stacking it on. But overall, as long as you're not speedrunning, it doesn't really matter which mantle you use whichever one feels best or you like the most. Alright guys, that was a long one, so thanks for sticking with me through that one. If you made it this far, be sure to drop a like down below. If you're new to my channel, new to Monster Hunter, or if you liked today's video, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Monster Hunter content just like this. We're hopefully going to find some time to do some open lobbies very soon, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. But with all that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.